Hello everyone, how's it going? I did a lot of research last year as I was creating content for my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what those videos were about, and I'm going to share with you toward the end which video was the most popular so far. If that sounds interesting to you, then keep watching. I love to do research on health topics, and I learned so many interesting things. I'm going to share with you some of my favorite tidbits, things that were new to me, and I'll share with you my most favorite thing that I learned toward the end of the video, and then at the very end I'll share with you what that most popular video was. So let's get started. So I did a video on tips for drinking more water. I know many people do struggle with this. What I found interesting when doing that research was that our sense of thirst diminishes as we get older. I also learned that you can purchase a water bottle that actually glows to let you know when it's time to drink. So that was very interesting. But check out the video for some more tips if this is something you struggle with. Some tips to help you drink water more often. So then I did one on being a light sleeper. I know I've struggled with that. So many things can disturb my sleep. But I learned about sleep spindles. There was one study that showed that people who produce more sleep spindles, they actually sleep easier through noise. And I also learned that we produce less of these sleep spindles as we get older, which may be one of the reasons why people tend to say they don't sleep as well now as they used to when they were younger. But go ahead and check out that video if you'd like to learn what sleep spindles are and some other helpful tips on making sure you get a good night's sleep, even if you are a light sleeper. I did another video on young-onset dementia. It's also called early-onset dementia. And one of the things I found interesting was that I read that early onset does not refer to the stage of the disease. It actually refers to the age at which a person is diagnosed with dementia, which has to be before age 65 in order to be considered early-onset dementia. And when I was doing that research, it was very personal to me because I did lose my mother at age 69 from dementia. Now, if this is a topic that you have concerns about or you're interested in, check out the video because it actually explains why this disease is actually underdiagnosed. It also shares with you some of the symptoms and those who might be more at risk. Well, if you're enjoying the video so far and these topics sound interesting to you, I'd like to remind you to please like and subscribe. If you do choose to subscribe, just make sure you select the option where you'll get notified when all the videos come out. That way you won't miss any. Also, I'm going to leave the links below to the videos that I'm talking about. But you can also just go to my channel, Avid Health Reader, and you'll see all of the videos there. I'd also like to take a moment, as I always do, to remind you to leave comments, as those can be very helpful. I appreciate that. So moving on, I did a video on how to exercise after age 50. And I learned that it takes us twice as long to recover from exercise when we're in our 50s compared to when we were in our 40s. So definitely stretching and warming up become even more important. But if you check out the video, it actually gives you an opportunity to test your fitness, and it gives you some ideas of some exercises that would be best for people over the age of 50. So I did one on how often to get your eye exam. I know sometimes people tend to put that off, but I learned about the most preventable cause of vision loss and or blindness. Unfortunately, 50% of people who are diagnosed with this condition are diagnosed too late. So if you'd like to find out what that condition is, check out the video. And also, it'll talk to you about why it's so important to get your eye exam regularly, even if you're not having issues with your vision. I also did a video on insomnia in older adults, which was very interesting because I found out that we tend to take more medications as we get older, and that could be part of the problem. But if you check out the video, it talks about what kind of medications might cause daytime sleepiness, which could cause us to sleep too much in the daytime. It also mentions some medications that could keep us awake at night. So sometimes just organizing those, figuring out which ones would be better to take during the day, which ones would be better to take in the evening, could sometimes help us with our sleep. But it also gives some other helpful tips on how we can get a good night's sleep. Now, sometimes people wind up with a vitamin D deficiency. And I learned that as we get older, the skin's ability to synthesize vitamin D actually declines. There was actually one study that showed that the production of vitamin D at age 70 is half of what it is for someone who's age 20. But check out the video to find out who are more at risk for having a vitamin D deficiency and how it can actually affect us. Let's see here. I also did one on seasonal affective disorder, which is when people experience depression a certain time of the year. For most people, it's during the fall and the winter when there's less sunlight. So I was really impressed with how much light therapy has been successful for people. So they'll usually sit a few feet away from a light box first thing in the morning for about 30 or 40 minutes. But if you check out the video, you can learn more about who might be at risk for this disorder and what treatments are available. I also did a video on bipolar disorders, and something that was new to me was that an episode of depression is not necessary for a diagnosis of bipolar 1. But if you check out the video, you can learn more information about the different types and why it's so important to get help if you have one of these disorders, and also 3 common myths that many people believe about bipolar disorder. Now, for many years, people have wondered if there's a link between antiperspirant deodorants and breast cancer. So I did some research on that. One thing I found interesting was I saw the explanation of why we're told not to wear antiperspirant or deodorant on the day we get a mammogram. And it brought out that many of these products contain aluminum, and this metal can show up as tiny white specks. And that can actually look like microcalcifications, which is one of the things the doctors look to when they see that it might be a possible sign of breast cancer. So it's better to avoid these products. Don't wind up having some confusion or an inaccurate reading. Now, if you check out the video, you'll find out actually if the studies have proven there is a link between these products and breast cancer. Another video that I did recently was about exercise snacks, and I thought it was very interesting because so many of us just sit so much of the day. But a performance expert and coach explained that after a long day of sitting, the reason we're tired is because we haven't been maintaining or creating energy. And it makes sense that if we're not moving around much, the blood isn't circulating very well, and that's what's carrying oxygen throughout the body. So we can imagine why we wouldn't feel energetic. But if you want, you can check out the video, and it actually will tell you what these exercise snacks are and how we can incorporate them every day in our life, whether we're at work or at home. Now, there's several reasons someone might become low on potassium. So I did a little research about what potassium does for us. And I thought it was interesting. It said that potassium lessens the effects of sodium, which is why it can help us with our blood pressure. But also it eases tension in blood vessel walls, which can further lower our blood pressure. Check out the video and you can find out some reasons why someone might be low on potassium, what the symptoms may be, and what symptoms might be concerning enough that you would reach out to your doctor. Okay, so we finally got into my favorite video. So I did a video about why you should start walking in 2023. I absolutely love to walk. So I learned that several studies show that walking can reduce arthritis-related pain, and if we walk 5 to 6 miles per week, it can actually help prevent arthritis from forming. And that's something that many of us are concerned about as we get older, is arthritis pain. So I was really excited to learn about that. But you can check out the video for some more benefits to walking to encourage you to get started. Or if you're already a walker, you can pat yourself on the back for all the benefits that you're receiving. Okay, so the most popular video had to do with people taking their levothyroxine tablets. Now, this is the most commonly prescribed medication to treat hypothyroidism. But apparently, there are many things that can hinder the absorption of this medication. So the video talks about 5 mistakes that many people make when they're taking this medication. Now, one is they will take the medication with coffee, or they'll drink coffee too soon after taking the medication. Now, I already knew it was best to take the medication with only water, but I thought that it was safe to drink coffee maybe 30 minutes after taking the medication. But apparently, coffee can really alter the absorption of the medication. So I learned it's actually better to wait at least an hour, maybe an hour and a half after taking the medication before drinking coffee. But if you want to check out the video, you can learn about the other 4 mistakes many people make. Also, there's a common supplement mentioned in the video that many people take that it doesn't hinder the absorption of the thyroid medication, but it can mess up your thyroid blood test results. So you have to actually stop taking it 2 days before you go for your blood test. Now, I did do some other videos on gut health, colorectal cancer, statin medications, Alzheimer's, and several others. So if you think you're interested in these topics, perhaps you'll think about subscribing. I know I did get a lot of ideas from friends and family and even from comments. So I like to thank everyone for those wonderful ideas that they gave me, and ask that you continue to leave comments, because I know that's very helpful to me, and many times it's helpful to other people who are reading those comments. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's information, and I hope to see you in the next video where we'll discuss another way we can improve our health.